Hello. Our host is here. I just talked to Ted, and he should be on his way. So I'm hoping that he's going to join us momentarily.
Let's start. It's my pleasure to invite you for a unique session of our DESSERT conference. We have possibility for very interesting talk and a very interesting discussion. I would like to invite coordinators of DESSERT 2024 Roundtable Digital Twins and Dark AI, Professor Emeritus Dr. Andrzej Rusiński, University of New Hampshire, United States, Dr. Ray Garbos, Fellow Emeritus, Lockheed Martin, USA, Dr. Ted Kochanski, Chief Scientist, Sensor Signal Systems, USA, our special guest, Adam Ustinovich, Film Director, Poland, and ChatGPT. It was idea, Professor Andrzej Rusiński, to include in the team of coordinators directly ChatGPT AI. Hence, we have open discussion, and it's my pleasure to invite Professor Andrzej Rusiński for start, for introduction and for presentation.
Okay, the pleasure is mine, Slava. Thank you very much. So welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Okay, welcome to the DESSERT 2024 Roundtable, and the title is Digital Twin or Dark AI. Thank you very much for presentation of all the guests which we invited to the session. But the most important partner of this discussion is the audience of DESSERT 2024. I strongly encourage you to participate in our discussion, and I would be more than happy to hear what is your mindset and what is your way of thinking, how we are going to deal with this emerging paradigm of artificial intelligence. Next slide, please. So the basic question is, what is AI? For your information, it's quite interesting. Let me just read this note, which is referring to 1956. In the summer of 1956, John McCarthy, a mathematics professor at Dartmouth College, New Hampshire, USA, convened a small group of researchers from various disciplines for a Solvay-style workshop exploring the possibility of creating thinking machines. So the idea of AI as thinking machines essentially came from the year of 1956. So which is quite an ancient concept from our perspective. What is even more interesting, when we looked at today, just a couple of days ago, there were two Nobel Prize winners announced, one in physics and another one in chemistry. And both of them, those awards were able and were possible because of the involvement of AI.
Okay.
So
I found this on the web for who is referring to 1956 in the summer of 1950.
Sorry. So it's a question that this concept of AI is evolving. And the next slide, please. So the purpose in the context of this definition of AI is that we would like to sort of think from a scientific standpoint and create a knowledge base for AI, but from the perspective that this AI should be dependable. Okay, so there's a correct relation with the topics, the main topics and theme of our conference. One suggestion which we would like to bring to for your consideration, the decision will be yours. Maybe in the future desert conferences, we can sort of summarize our founding and establish a new type of workshop which would be related to the dependable artificial intelligence. Next slide, please. Well, as we all are aware, there's a common knowledge, people are afraid of AI and so on. I sort of put this list, the list is not this is not a formal taxonomy, this is just what came to my mind ad hoc, so to speak. You can definitely extend this list, there's no problem with that. I would like to bring two interesting points, maybe for our consideration. Maybe we can discuss this today. You know, AI has a very strange business model. So, you know, if we all look at it, you know, ask a question: who is profiting from AI and who is losing money? That's an interesting dilemma which we are facing these days. Another thing is, AI is not only hungry for data, big data, but it's also hungry for energy. And it becomes a real issue how we can provide energy and justify the usage of energy to keep this AI going. So once again, the list here is not sort of a final list. This is just a provocative start to initiate the discussion how we can define AI and consequently say dependable AI and dark AI. Next slide, please. So even already we are facing with a multiple metaverses, I would say, of the words associated with AI. These are just two examples, which are sort of typical boundary cases. On one side, when you look at this picture on the left-hand side, you can see this smiling chatbot or robot, and it essentially implies that our partnership and friendship and relationship with AI will be rosy, lucky, happy, and useful for everybody. On the other hand, we can also envision this dark AI, which is a bad guy who is not only thinking about himself, but also trying to undermine the role of humans in the future. So that's an open question. How many different flavors of AI we already have, how they can be correlated, how they can be defined, and defined under a common umbrella of the definition, what I'm talking about. So that's an open question for us and challenge. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a proposed structure. We don't have too much time for our discussion. Once I finish the introductory, which is going to happen almost momentarily, I will ask Ray to speak up, then Professor Harchenko, then Ted Kochański, and Adam Ustynowicz. And obviously, at any time, you are welcome to interrupt and intertwine and have your sort of voice heard. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so obviously everything what we are going to discuss today, I will try to sort of put in some kind of an order. and get our ChatGPT involved. And, again, I would like to bring the notion of maybe in the future desert conferences so we can organize the better structure workshop devoted to AI dependability. Next slide, please. So I would like to welcome everybody, and I would like to announce our roundtable officially open. So thank you very much for your attention. And Ray, the floor is yours.
Hi, Andre. Hi, all the other people, especially Adam. I haven't talked to Adam in a while. I think the important thing of the presentation that Andre mentioned earlier, and it seems like a simple thing, is the idea of fakeness. It's when AI is being used to fake either individuals or a collection of people and stuff. And the concept of dark AI, much like the dark web, a lot of this will be going, it's kind of like an unknown. It's kind of hiding in background. You really don't know what's kind of going on. But the ability for either misinformation, disinformation, dark AI, there's probably a lack of ethics, a lack of morals, maybe some illegal things going on. But as it affects individuals or groups who are trying to use it in a proper way, I think we need to really try to figure out the concept of using it in a fake way. And maybe when we talk about this workshop, we should kind of bring up the fact that maybe we need to create some kind of a collection ground where as soon as somebody detects something that appears to be false or misleading or anything like that, they can automatically be flagged. So some sort of way to try to move towards making it dependable, we need to create a way of very quickly anybody being able to flag something, and that can be then checked and documented in a public way. Okay, I think that's what I have to say right now. Anyway, thanks for the session, Andre.
Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you very much for those remarks. Slava, Professor Harchenko, please, you are welcome to speak.
Thank you. This topic is really extremely not only interesting, it's extremely important because my preference view on these topics in taking into account safety and security issues. What does it mean? We talk about AI as a part of control system, elements of web, critical infrastructure, and so on. And there is a problem of complete understanding of all characteristics, AI models and AI platforms. And in general, we talk about AI-based systems. And in this case, there is a problem of traditional problem of reliability, dependability, and so on. If you take into account AI system as a hardware and software complex, is a traditional problem. But if you talk about the AI-based system, in this case, we have additional characteristics, specific characteristics such as trustworthiness, explainability, ethics, and so on. And the problem is the following, in my point of view. And in considering suggestion of Professor Rusinski for name of this roundtable, dark AI. Really, we have some problem with dark AI, considering explainability, considering uncertainty functioning AI-based system when there are situation uncertain behavior of AI system. And if we talk about safety or security critical application, we need have to strong requirements, strong verification and validation process, and it is a really challenges because because there is problem of complexity, test coverage, complete verification, validation, such kind of system. Hence, I think our task is to make dark AI as a light AI. It's the first one. And the second one is the problem of predictable behavior of AI system. We need to give our engineers instrument requirements and tools to better realize requirements to dependability, safety, and security of such kind of system. Hence, I see this problem as one of the main in point of view of safety and security application. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Slava. As you can see, we already have the outline in which directions we can be going with this new theory of dark AI. So thank you very much, Slava, again. Now, Dr. Kochański, please, the floor is yours.
Hopefully everyone can hear me. If somebody could put a thumb up if they can hear me. Okay. So now I have to figure out how to share some small number of slides. How do I do that?
We can release the presentation temporary, and you will be able to share your screen.
Okay, that would be good. So now, what do I click on here to share my screen? Present now. I click on present now.
Present now and select the entire screen and start sharing.
Okay.
I was going to say, while we're waiting for Ted, based on the other comment, one of the problems with dark web or dark AI is they're not going to follow rules. So we can set up, we can talk about policies and things like that, but the concept in my mind of dark AI is there may be people who are just going to ignore that activity, and how do we detect that and identify it?
Well, it would be very interesting to create a model of AI, dark AI with no rules, so the darkest of darkness, of darkest AI. This would be very much interesting. How bad you can get, Ray? I have some examples in my life, so I can help.
Okay, let's see if this works. No, that's not it, but all right. Well, this is in the middle sort of what I was going to present, but people can see my screen. The headline here is Constellation to launch Crane Clean Energy Center. That's just the name. Restoring jobs and carbon-free power to the grid. But if you look underneath the little headline there, the rest of the story is the Constellation Crane Clean Energy Center features the restart of the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania to sell the energy to Microsoft. So the question is, well, why is that such an important headline? It's an important headline because the unit that they're talking about, which is not the one that the famous meltdown, but it was the adjacent unit, 800 megawatt unit, was shut down 5 years ago for economic reasons. And that had to do with some decisions made by the Pennsylvania Energy Board that made it disadvantageous to keep operating it. But now there's a special demand to power these AI sensors, basically. So now if I can get to my actual presentation here. Okay, can you see my screen now?
It is still the same screen, you know, with this constellation.
Oh,
It hasn't changed that.
Okay, I'm trying to get that to go away. Maybe if I go with that, and I go with this, maybe now. Anybody see my new screen now?
No,
No.
still the same.
No, it's still the
Can
same.
off share and select entire screen
Entire
and then
screen.
repeat.
Okay, let me go back to here. Is that what I want? No. I lost my master screen. What happened to it? Where is everything? No. 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 This is not right. Somehow or other, the master screen disappeared for the meets. Where is that? Maybe it's in the Chrome browser. Okay. Okay. So I need to deselect this and then reselect entire.
Select
Yes.
entire screen and click start sharing.
All right. Go to present now. Select entire screen. Okay. Share. And now. Okay. Is this good?
Yes.
Okay. So let me go to slides. Okay. So there is another author to this thing who is sort of like the hidden nodes inside of a AI system, basically, and that's my brother Greg, who is a staff member at Google in Pittsburgh, and he didn't want to have his name for whatever reason on this thing. But we had a discussion about the plus and minus about the use of AI and its effects on things. And so this is a list that we kind of came to agreement on without there being a huge fight breaking loose. On the plus side, and this is not necessarily any particular hierarchy, I said, unless you're really sloppy in typing, AI should be able to fix your text as long as you do the old trust but verify thing in the end. Because we had some examples in some emails which we were exchanging where AI did some creative writing that was not intended in terms of interpreting some sloppy typing. It can certainly help you organize images, sounds, and text into well-defined and fairly clean boxes of things. It's a good way to retrieve info from FAQs and wikis. It can help with signal processing as long as it has previous experience, because otherwise it's apt to create things that are not really there. But the most important one, and it probably should be at the top of the list, is it can do whatever it does 24/7 with minimal downtime. Of course, that depends on there being a reliable supply of power for it and things like that. On the other hand, it consumes way too much energy for what you get in return. This is my personal opinion. We'll see a couple of examples of AI units you can buy that are doing lots of flops, petaflops, but they use kilowatts of electricity, whereas the human brain is, it's a number of watts. Most of the time it's kind of idling, and then every once in a while it zips up a bit more. It certainly at this time consumes way too much capital, but I think this is a passing phase. My brother did not necessarily agree with that. That's why there's a little zero in the middle there. It makes the task of proving what you are and who you say you are much more challenging. And I said more challenging, but I think I would say much more challenging, as it can create quite good fakes. And that's assuming that you are in a cooperative sense. But there's also a further challenge if somebody is trying to intentionally be deceptive. It makes the task of verifying science and tech, we have several examples now, fakes or sloppiness much more challenging. And it's susceptible to instabilities with a challenge of winning the battle by voting that used to be the standard way of if one processor in a critical system failed, you would ask another one. But if they're these identically sort of primed AI modules, they'll agree completely, and you won't have a chance of overcoming that. There was just a recent example. Thankfully, no harm was done, but Boeing 787, operated by United Airlines, was flying over Canada, may have been influenced by the aurora borealis and the solar geomagnetic storm, but the screens in the cockpit went blank. Not the screens in the entertainment area, but the screens in the cockpit. They had to reboot the airplane at many kilometers in the air. Everything worked out fine. They landed safely in Chicago, but that's an indication. So I think one of the key elements of this thing is we need to be able to assure affordable and dependable electricity that's available on demand, irrespective of what demands are placed on it, in a sense. And the AI and robotics era is rapidly accelerating. There's an estimate from a online newsletter called Utility Dive, just about a month and a half, 2 months ago now. That estimate predicts a 50 to 100% increase in the next decade for electricity in advanced countries, countries that are not considered by OECD countries. Are growing even much more fast, more rapidly than that, but then starting from much lower level. And I think that, as they say, regulators and policymakers must react effectively to big tech's acquisition of renewable resources by driving investment in new dispatchable energy and capacity. And I think the 3 Mile Island thing is an example. This is what these things look like and cost. This is an earlier generation. The price here, this is $300,000 US dollars. It is actually down a little bit from what the peak original price was. The box, you can see this one is air cooled. There are bigger units that are water cooled, and the boards that are inside there show one of these NVIDIA processing GPU processing chips on the board, $35,000 almost for the board with one chip. This is the new chip that they didn't actually have a price for it from this particular supplier. This is the so-called Blackwell architecture chip. It has 208 billion transistors. It's made by TSMC in Taiwan, in Hsinchu, and it has the 4 nano scale process. And so here's the crux of the thing. Tremendous memory bandwidth, all these things, but right here, max thermal design power per chip, 1,000 watts. You can go to a lower operating point where you don't get quite as many petaflops. Go from 2.2 per chip to 1.8. This box over here, if it had the new chips, these are the Blackwell chips, the whole thing with eight the chips in there, 144 petaflops, which is just mind-bogglingly large number. So this came up with the thing with the Constellation Clean Energy Center. And I guess the most important thing here is that nuclear power plants and potentially fusion reactors are the kind of power that's needed to make these things run, because the clean energy in the form of wind and solar doesn't have this reliable every hour, every day. And these nuclear plants like 3 Mile Island has generated 835 megawatts with 99, almost 99% somewhere here of online availability. Now, obviously, there were some scheduled downtime, but in terms of the operating at the full power output, it was essentially there whenever you needed it. And just the restart, there's some issues. It'll take a while. It's not going to happen overnight, but Microsoft's agreement is for 20 years, so it will probably begin operating in 2 to 3 years, depending on various regulatory issues. The plant itself was operating perfectly well. It was shut down 5 years ago because of this change in the economics of things. So that's my prepared material, and I guess I'm ready to join in the discussion to go beyond that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ted. This is really a nice illustration of the problem, which sort of is, which is not talking too much in public, but that's one of the key issues. Thank you very much, Ted. Adam, please, the floor is yours.
You can stop the sharing your screen.
Yeah, stop sharing. Yeah, okay.
Adam, go ahead, please.
Okay. I switch off the microphone. So it's a great pleasure to see you again after 1 year in Athens, and because we are in this beautiful town, and I have the completely different perspective on this issue than you. Maybe not completely, but as you can read, I'm film director, not professor. So for me, emotions are much more important in the field of communication than words. And the AI is misleading, not just in the words, because all science is based on words. The meaning of words. Maybe I will explain you on something that I'm doing. So I'm preparing a concert to honor the heroic airmen who delivered supplies to Warsaw Uprising in 1944. It was in August. This was desperate mission from Italy to Warsaw and back, 3,050 kilometers. They dropped the supplies, and about 30% was killed in action. So, and Manila has a similar tragedy. It was in February 45. It was massacre in Manila. And both cities, Warsaw and Manila, are organizing musical concert to remember this. I asked Roxana Panufnik, she is a daughter of a famous Polish composer who survived the Warsaw Uprising, to have a new piece of music on this concert. And she is thinking just how to make it. And she called me and said, no, just maybe I will use something very ancient, the Knight's Anthem, this Bogu Rodzica from Poland, and the lullaby from Philippine Kids. Well, I was very polite. I said, well, very good idea. But I was thinking, no, this is crazy. There's nothing to do. Just what the medieval anthem and then the lullaby from Philippines have together. But when she presented this music, I said, well, brilliant. Just because it express exactly the hope of the Ironman and for providence. They pray for providence, and they pray for providence of kids. So something that in words is my conclusion. Something that in words is completely mess, just is madness. It's not true. In emotions, is absolutely true. And in the same time, just when I was asking Chat GPT to help me to write a letter, I forget to mention that they deliver supplies to Warsaw, and the Chat GPT wrote me a letter that they deliver bombs, because it was the Liberators and the airplanes. So the Chat GPT was sure that they deliver bombs, not supplies and medicals. So this is the threat of AI, that you have to control all the time the meaning of words. And by the way, we don't agree between us. What is the meaning of the word? So what we need to do, I think, this we are in Athens, so the Ariadne threat, this famous myth about Theseus and who killed Minotaur, and the sister of Minotaur, Ariadne, gave him the threat to kill this monster and to come back. So we need, and I'm sure, I have to ask you, because I'm sure that something like that exists, this kind of threat. That means the software that will be Ariadne threat, that we can come back to the point where the meaning of words are different than we thought. So if not, I just try to maybe to convince you that we should make it. We should make this software and the system based on blockchain, just to work with AI. That's all. Thank you,
Adam. Thank you very much for your perspective. For your perspective, it's very, very interesting. Obviously, it's a question of how we are going to communicate, and especially right now when we have AI, we know that this prompt engineering is sort of sloppy. It's difficult to talk to AI right now, and this is a very good point, that not only we need this universal language, but also we have to make sure that the meaning of words is exactly what we are trying to do, because in the history we have vast examples of things which went wrong because people thought about different things, talking to each other, and this is just what's happening. Now we have an excellent chance here because we have a multinational audience, so I'm hoping that we are going to address this issue of communication and this universal language as part of our research. So thank you very much, Adam, again. Now this is the most important part of our round table. This is we would like to hear the audience what you think, what is your perspective, what you would like to see. I'm very much interested. So the floor is yours, and please don't be shy, and move ahead and say what you
If you
think.
want to know
Let me to ask a brief question, maybe a suggestion, maybe some interesting direction. It's turned out that currently the mentioned silicon-based high integration chips can be adopted by the adding of photonic processing for computations, for heterogeneous computations of AI and implementations of neural networks that allows to avoid spending of electricity for processing and usage of light and compact sources of light for processing some AI implementation in solid medium, like glass, for example. And adding such additional units to such graphical adapters or processors will allow to improve the power efficiency and significantly improve the performance. And it's a future of 1 or 2 decades.
Don't be shy. Go ahead, please.
Dmitry, welcome for your opinion.
Yeah, hello, dear colleagues. Dmitry Chomachenko, National Aerospace University, Kharkiv Aviation Institute. I wanted to actually follow up to Adam's talk about emotions and think about not only dark AI digital twins, but the problem we are facing right now in Ukraine and actually all around the world is artificial based bots and bots farms, which are amplified by Russian propaganda. So basically, Russia is making huge amount of bots in social media to amplify different narratives. And like we can see it right now in Europe, they launched the Doppelganger campaign where they made a lot of fake sites with artificial content, which were just similar to normal media outlets. Now they're doing that with US elections. I believe that we will observe the race of that after 15th of November after the US elections. And the problem of disinformation and spreading of disinformation by such artificial bots based on AI generated information, which makes them looks like real humans, is really concerning. And I believe that no one in the world is not ready for that. So it's interesting to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that is very interesting what you said, because it's really not only artificial intelligence but also artificial emotions. So it's crazy, this dark side of AI.
So do you think, I'm sorry, I cannot resist of, I wanted to be quiet, but so are you saying that, you know, this notion of artificial intelligence should be combined with artificial emotions? Because one of the accusations against AI is, you know, people are saying that AI has no emotions, no ethics, no feelings. That's what you are suggesting, but it has to be combined, and we should think about a new paradigm, a new category of artificial emotions.
It's me?
Yeah.
Do you hear me? Okay. So I think that this is a very good question. And just maybe we touch something that is very important. And just not only artificial intelligence, but artificial emotions. Of course, this is not true emotion. No, just the AI can only mimic, no, just this emotion, and we have the something like soul or consciousness, but soul, the heart, just to be true, to be sure that it's true or not, no, just as love, no. So and this is so far is I think that is impossible to imitate, no, just but we should have this something that we call love, no, just. And now people are thinking not with heart, no, just but only with emotions, no, just so it's very easy to manipulate, no, just. But if you are sure that you love someone, or that is the good or rightness, no, just there's no other way, no, just no it's based in our not brain but our hearts, no, just. Thank you.
Any comment?
Yeah, I would just say one thing in terms of this whole opportunity to create synthetic images and videos. It's becoming now both a game for people. There are people, of course, doing things that are, it's harmless because you can make George Washington say something that he didn't say, and of course he's not here to comment on it, but people can find the original documents and even on paper. And that's sort of harmless. And of course, you can do it with cartoon characters or with superheroes or whatever. Nobody cares. The danger comes from two areas. One is, of course, I think it was just we're talking a little bit about it, is political deep fakes, where you take a politician who is running for office or something like that, and you put words in their mouth that they never said. And again, if you are doing it in a way that it's humorous or something, that's another thing. You show the original speech, and then you can show the modification of the speech. So, for instance, the famous speech of John Fitzgerald Kennedy at the Berlin Wall, where he apparently didn't quite understand the German syntax, and he said, "Ich bin ein Berliner." But the problem is that ein Berliner is a jelly donut. And he should have just said, "Ich bin Berliner" without the ein Berliner. But somebody didn't do the correct instructing. So that's been fixed now. And there is a deep fake of Kennedy at the Berlin Wall with jelly donuts appearing as he says it. That's obviously harmless. But if it potentially have a intent to influence an election or something, that can be very damaging and dangerous. And we've seen some examples of that. People put words into Prime Minister Trudeau's mouth in Canada, and it influenced a local election. I'd forgotten where it was, in Alberta somewhere, a small scale local election. And they fixed it afterwards, but it was too late. It already had influenced the outcome of the election. It was a very close election, and for a seat in I think in the Alberta Parliament, the provincial Parliament, and somebody or other had passed away, and they had a vacancy, and the two people who were vying for this thing were looking for Trudeau's support. So. In any event, it can obviously have impact also in situations like the traditional proof that a hostage is still alive by putting a up-to-date newspaper underneath the hostage's chin and having the hostage appear to be speaking or something with the up-to-date newspaper. Well, of course, the newspaper headlines and the front page can be faked very easily. And the hostage could be long since dead, and you might still be trying to collect the money. Anyway, I just had one thing. I just did a Google search for what comes up on the front page when you do a Google search for deep fake. And when you do that, the highlights are actually, I picked 4. One is Deep Fake Web. Make your own deep fakes. It's an online app. If you go there, just go to deepfakesweb.com, and it's an online deepfake software that works in the cloud. All you need to do is upload video and click a button. Our app does the rest. No comment as to how high quality the deepfake is. Then there's a report from the U.S. Government Accountability Office, which is a special branch of the Congress, basically, or Bureau of the Congress, GAO 20-379 SP, Science and Technology Spotlight Deepfakes. And they said their report, it's a short report, has talked about artificial neural networks, one trying to produce a fake and another one trying to detect it. And then there's a sponsored opportunity that's 60-second deep fakes. Try it now. Pro face swaps in seconds. Instant face swap in video and photos. No skills needed. Free daily. Try it now. That's in magichour.ai. And then finally, this one was especially for Adam, CinemaFlow AI. www.cinemaflow.ai. Join the filmmaking revolution with Cinema Flow platform, democratizing cinema production. AI simplifies video creation. Input your text and watch AI create your video. I've not tried any of these, so I have no comments about that.
Thank you very much. That I just see that we have a more and more challenging task for this dark AI and dependable AI. It looks to me that we have discovered the next grand challenge. You know, it's that's what we are facing. So it's fascinating. It's exciting. More voices, please, from the audience, please.
Andrew Daviduk, your turn. You're holding your hand too long.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to ask. And when we are talking about some emotions to AI, the first question, right from my side, is it important for people to feel the emotions from AI? But on another hand, for me, it's more important to know how can AI predict our emotions? So what is the application of the AI to the cognitive warfare? Just an example, when we see the simple envelope, everybody of us has different thoughts. Yeah, because somebody is thinking what is inside the envelope, somebody is thinking what is specific things of this envelope. And if you ask everybody like the association of the envelope, somebody will say this is the letter. Somebody say it's something closely to corruption like money in envelope. Somebody say maybe some secret letter here. Depends on the background. And how AI can predict our reaction to different texts which AI generated. What AI usually or more often propose people for the same question. For example, when we use the simplest way to asking something in Google, usually we are not the first people who asking something. Yeah, we could be 1 million or 1,000 men who asks this. But at the same time, Google propose usually the same answers. AI every time is different or every time the same, provocated us to have the same answer or the same reaction on his text. What is the line of the neutrality of AI?
Andrew, thank you very much for your talk. When I see an envelope, I can see the next bill. That's what I can see. Alona, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. You wanted to speak up. Please do.
Hello, I'm Alona from National Aerospace University, Kharkiv Aviation Institute. And I wanted to tell what just recently appeared. Many have seen a picture of a baby peacock that roamed the internet, and everyone was admiring how cute it was and so on. But not everyone knew that it was an AI-generated picture, which was revealed in the end. Nevertheless, if you try to search for a baby peacock, 60% of the pictures will be AI generated. And that's scary enough to make you think that internet is starting to die because of it or something else. Seems harmless enough. But what could be the consequences in the other situations? We cannot know that. And this raises the question, is it possible to control the generation or verification process, whether it is AI generated or not? We cannot only think that people are kind to say, oh, sorry, that was AI generated. Many will say, no, of course not. What do you think? No. But it was.
Thank you very much. Everybody, please do speak. We have 5 minutes. And then we will close the session. In 5 minutes, I will close the session.
I would just say that, you know, the challenge is not restricted to AI generated things. You know, fakes are a long history. The most recent interesting one is from a zoo in China that had been promised at some point or other they would get a panda. And everybody, of course, loves pandas. And they didn't get their pandas when they said they had gotten their pandas. And it was kind of embarrassing. So what they did was they took some dogs and they painted the dogs and shaved their hair and things like this. So they looked sort of like a panda. Obviously, if you got very close to them, they still look like dogs, but from a distance of maybe 10, 15 meters, they looked enough like a panda that they got away for it a while. But then, of course, the fake pandas reverted to behaving like dogs. That they were barking and doing the dog-like things that pandas didn't do, and so they had to issue an apology that they were just waiting for the pandas and they didn't want people to be disappointed when they came to view the pandas.
Don't worry, Ted. We will take care of the panda and the dogs. Don't worry.
fake pandas and the AI. This is very good conclusion.
But you can obviously do that. Might be a benign kind of a fake there because people come to see the pandas and they aren't there. We have a problem at the Museum of Science where I volunteer frequently because we have some bees in a active hive. And in the summertime and springtime and the fall, the bees go in and out of the hive, and everybody is happy watching the bees doing their thing and everything. But in the wintertime in Boston, it's cold enough that the bees.
Okay, let's have Vitaly and Alex, please. Please speak up.
Thank you. I'd like to continue concerns of Alena about artificial pictures. In recent cybersecurity and security exhibition here in Kiev, I was represented. They were representing a system built on the artificial intelligence, and it was learned by synthetic data generated by another AI. And I asked how you can believe the solutions of AI learned by artificial data, synthetic data given by another AI. And they said, we have a third system, AI system, which validates generated synthetic data. And the chain of 3 AIs, we should trust more than one AI, they said. The question is the same question. Is the chain of 3 AIs more dependable than one AI?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent question. Alex, please.
Hi. I would put here some small comments. My article is devoted to mitigating vulnerabilities of LLM interface, which is mostly used as widely now as chatbots in production. And the main risk is you expose your system expecting that LLM somehow will handle prompt injection attack, and it not works so perfectly for now. And all existing protection currently is oriented on standard approach using some, for example, fuzzy search or other approach based on vocabulary, where you try comparing two vectors with some probabilities, define that one or another prompt is potentially dangerous, and then decide what to do with it. But approach that was proposed in my article was to use LLM, actually, that is customized and oriented to negotiate any type of attack. Of course, it's a bit expensive because you use 2 LLMs, like one core LLM oriented on some task resolving related to your domain. But additional LLM could handle and decide which prompt is potentially dangerous or no, and it handle even very complicated case with chain prompt attack. So my expectation, of course, I had no possibility to investigate, dive deeper in this topic, But I guess the same approach using extra additional LLM could help to define. Currently they are already used for text detection that is generated via IE. And the same approach could be used for picture detection that potentially are generated using some IE solution, some LLMs. And the same with video, fakes, and so on. So it's something like I expect in future the fights of, as you announced this roundtable topic, with some dark IE and versus some helpful, let it be protective LLMs across different companies, different solutions, and we will see something like IE fights across internet. So some group of people will invest and develop solution how to hijack or expose some sensitive information from existing system, and other people will fight to develop and update as fast as possible new solution using, again, based on LLMs, how to protect from different new type of attacks that will appear in the future. That's my.
Thank you very much. My last slide, please. Could you show the last slide, please, on my presentation right now? Okay, this is not okay. So I would like to thank Professor Bartis and Professor Harchenko for having an opportunity of having this roundtable. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the audience. Your voices were the most important from my perspective. And as the final voice, I would like to have Ray to have a conclusive, the final comments. Ray, go ahead. And thank you very much, everybody. We are done.
Yeah, I just want to say we're kind of talking about a lot of negative aspects, but I really look forward to AI teaching assistants that will allow students to progress at their own level, but be able to stay at the right social level. So right now, I think we have a disparity in classrooms there. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for AI to help in the education system that I think is really failing our students in general. So I just wanted to add the kind of more positive note that AI I think can play very positive roles in the area of education. I think Adam is generally interested in that area as well.
Thank you.
And a small comment from me, if I can, please.
Go ahead.
Nikos?
Yes, a small comment for me. It was very interesting, this round table. Everywhere is better, and we are thinking a lot of things after your round tables, and of course is in our future. I'm looking at your presentation, and there's the LITSI in Greece. And the comment I have to say that our conference are taking place in the archaeological place of Litsi. There was Aristoteles, a lot of these, all these philosophers that were speaking the same things that we were speaking today, not but round table, but walking in the forest. It's the place that take place our conference. The officers club is built inside of Lycee's archaeological place. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrzej.
Thank you. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, we can conclude our talk. Thank you very much, all coordinators, all participants, for very interesting talk. I really consider that we need to continue this style, this topic, this considering different sub-directions of today talk, beginning from safe and secure AI, and to AI for art, for music, for emotion, and so on. And so thank you very much, coordinators, and let's continue our work on the next session, closing session. Please, 5 minutes later, we will start our closing session. Thank you very much.